For decades, the name Toyota was synonymous with a single, unshakable concept: invincibility. From the deserts of the Middle East to the construction sites of the American Midwest, the brand built its empire on the premise that while their vehicles might not always be the fastest or the most technologically advanced, they would simply never die. The 5.7-liter 3URFE V8 engine was the beating heart of this reputation, a cast aluminum block of over-engineered iron will that famously powered Tundras to over 1 million miles with nothing more than routine maintenance. It was the gold standard of automotive reliability. But that era is dead. It did not die of old age. It was murdered by a corporate strategy that prioritized fuel economy mandates and manufacturing speed over the foundational engineering that made the company a legend. We are witnessing the beginning of the end for Toyota's halo of reliability. The subject of this forensic investigation is the catastrophe surrounding the third-generation Tundra and its V35 AFTS 3.4-liter twin-turbo V6 engine. This is not just a story about a bad batch of parts. This is a story about a fundamental breakdown in quality control that has led to one of the most expensive and embarrassing recalls in automotive history, officially designated by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration as Recall 24 V381. We are looking at a potential financial liability exceeding several $billion dollars, a class-action legal storm gathering on the horizon, and a mechanical failure so severe that the only fix is to rip the heart out of the truck and start over. To understand the gravity of this situation, we must first understand the machine itself and the fatal flaw buried deep within its engine block. When Toyota announced they were killing the V8 in favor of a twin-turbo V6 hybrid architecture, the skepticism from the American truck buyer was immediate. Truck owners operate on torque and trust. While the numbers on the new V6 were impressive, generating up to 437 horsepower and 583 pound-feet of torque in the iForce Max configuration, the complexity required to achieve those numbers introduced hundreds of new failure points. Twin turbochargers, complex wastegate actuators, intercoolers, and a hybrid system sandwiched between the engine and transmission. Yet the failure that is currently destroying thousands of these engines has nothing to do with the hybrid system or the turbochargers. The killer is much more primitive. The killer is debris. According to documents filed with the NHTSA, the specific defect involves machining debris, metal shavings, and particulate matter left inside the engine block during the manufacturing process at Toyota's Alabama engine plant. This is the automotive equivalent of a surgeon leaving a scalpel inside a patient. In a high-precision internal combustion engine, cleanliness is not just a virtue, it is a requirement for survival. The tolerances between the crankshaft journals and the main bearings in modern engines are measured in microns. For context, a human hair is roughly 70 microns thick. The oil film that separates the spinning metal of the crankshaft from the stationary metal of the bearings is often thinner than that hair. When Toyota's manufacturing process failed to clear the machining swarf from the oil galleries and coolant passages of the V35 AFTS block, they essentially loaded a shotgun pointed directly at the engine's main bearings. Once the engine is started and the oil pump begins to cycle, this debris is picked up by the flow. It travels through the oil passages, bypassing the filter in some scenarios or originating downstream of it, and lodges itself between the crank journal and the bearing surface. The result is catastrophic and instantaneous. The debris scores the metal, disrupting the hydrodynamic oil wedge. Friction spikes. Temperatures skyrocket within seconds. The bearing material, usually a soft alloy designed to sacrifice itself, melts and welds to the crankshaft. This is known as a spun bearing. The engine begins to knock, a hollow, rhythmic death rattle that rises with RPMs. Shortly after, the engine seizes entirely. If this happens at highway speeds, the truck loses motive power instantly. Steering becomes heavy, braking assist is lost, and the vehicle becomes a 6,000-pound unguided missile. This is why the NHTSA forced the recall. It is a safety-critical failure. But the forensic analysis gets darker when we look at the scope. Initially, Toyota downplayed the issue, suggesting it was a limited number of units. However, as the reports flooded in from dealerships across the United States, from Texas to Florida, the truth became undeniable. The recall now encompasses over 102,000 vehicles, specifically Tundra models manufactured between November 2, 2021, and February 13, 2023, and Lexus LX600 models built during the same period. The sheer logistical nightmare of this fix cannot be overstated. This is not a software update. This is not a sensor replacement. To fix this, Toyota technicians must perform a short block replacement. This involves lifting the entire cab of the truck off the chassis, a process that separates the body from the frame. Every wire, hose, and connection must be severed. The engine is pulled. The turbochargers, heads, and accessories are stripped from the dead block and transferred to a new one. The potential for human error during this reassembly is massive. We are talking about 20 to 30 hours of labor per truck, performed by dealership technicians who are under pressure to beat the book time. The financial implications are staggering. If we estimate the cost of a short block, parts, fluids, and labor to be conservatively around $20,000 to $30,000 per vehicle at retail rates, though Toyota's internal cost is lower, we are looking at a multi-billion-dollar expenditure. And this brings us to the comparative analysis. We have seen this movie before. We saw it with Hyundai and Kia during the Theta II engine crisis. In that scenario, machining debris and manufacturing errors led to millions of recalled vehicles, class action settlements, and a permanent stain on the brand's reputation. Hyundai and Kia spent years in court and billions in fines because they delayed the recall and obfuscated the truth. Toyota appears to be walking a dangerously similar path. The parallels to the Theta II disaster are harmful. Both involve machining debris. Both involve main bearing failure. Both involve a catastrophic loss of power. But the difference is the expectation. Buyers expect a Kia to be a budget-conscious decision with managed risk. Buyers pay a premium for a Toyota specifically to avoid this scenario. When you buy a Tundra TRD Pro for $70,000, you are paying a reliability tax. You are paying for the peace of mind that the engine will not grenade itself at 15,000 miles. That contract has been breached. Furthermore, we must look at the pressure from Tesla. The automotive industry is currently in a panic to reduce manufacturing costs to compete with Tesla's gigacasting techniques and vertical integration. Tesla has forced legacy automakers to speed up production lines and cut costs to maintain margins in the EV transition. It is highly probable that the lapse in quality control at Toyota's Alabama plant was a symptom of this increased production pressure. The Toyota way, the famous Kaizen philosophy of continuous improvement, relies on the ability to stop the line when a defect is detected. But in the modern race for volume and quarterly earnings, stopping the line is a sin. Did Toyota management ignore warning signs from the factory floor? Did they prioritize shipping units over flushing the blocks? These are the questions that will be asked in the inevitable depositions. The recall remedy itself is also controversial. Toyota is replacing the short block, but are they replacing the turbochargers? If debris circulated through the oil system, it likely passed through the turbo bearings as well. Putting old turbos on a new block is a recipe for a repeat failure. Moreover, what about the resale value? A 2022 Tundra with a replacement engine on its Carfax report is immediately worth less than a factory original unit. Who compensates the owner for that diminished value? The silence from Toyota on these secondary costs is deafening. This is the financial scandal aspect of the documentary. It's not just the cost of the repair, it's the erosion of asset value for the American consumer. We are seeing early reports of Tundra owners trading in their trucks for domestic alternatives, Ford F-150s and Chevy Silverados, because their trust is broken. The irony is palpable. For years, Toyota owners mocked Ford owners for their EcoBoost cam phaser issues and Chevy owners for their lifter failures. Now, the tables have turned. The Tundra V6 is proving to be more fragile than the domestic competitors it sought to dethrone. Let's go deeper into the mechanical forensics of the V35 AFTS. This engine uses a hot V configuration in some applications. Though the Tundra uses a traditional layout, the thermal management is critical. The main bearings are subjected to immense stress due to the high boost pressures required to move a heavy truck. When you add towing into the equation, which is the primary use case for a full-size pickup, the load on the bearings increases exponentially. A microscopic piece of debris that might pass through a naturally aspirated engine without issue becomes a fatal projectile in a high-stress, twin-turbo environment. The oil pressure in these engines is variable, controlled by the ECU to maximize efficiency. At highway cruising speeds, oil pressure is lowered to reduce parasitic drag on the pump. If debris restricts flow during this low-pressure state, the margin for error hits zero. The bearing spins, and the engine is toast. Toyota has stated that the hybrid versions are also affected, but the electric motor allows for limited drivability in the event of engine failure. This is cold comfort to an owner stranded on the side of the highway towing a boat. The verdict of this investigation is grim. Toyota has gambled $30 billion on its electrification and modernization strategy, and the Tundra was the flagship of that new era. By failing to execute the most basic principle of engine building, cleaning the block, they have jeopardized their most valuable asset, their brand equity. This is a wake-up call for the entire industry. If Toyota, the master of manufacturing, can make a mistake this rudimentary and this catastrophic, then no one is safe. The 2024 Tundra may eventually be fixed. The engines will be replaced. The assembly lines will be scrubbed. But the doubt will remain. Every time a Tundra owner pushes the start button and hears a cold start rattle, they will wonder, is today the day? Is the debris moving? Is the engine dying? For a brand built on certainty, that doubt is the most expensive failure of all. This is not just a recall. This is a reckoning.